And then
13th of November 2023. This is one of our Let's Talk Skidmarks. And this video that you just checked, what you should take away from that is that there's a large portion of the population that actually see those people as the future leadership of South Africa. Now, yes, many will now label me a racist immediately, but fuck that. They are living on racism. Over 30 years, the racism wagon has been driven like hell. But these people are too dumb. Yes, they get very annoyed when I say they're stupid, so I'm going to say they're dumb. They're too dumb to realize that South Africa is diving into the sewer. And there has been many studies done about IQ and all of that, and South Africa has got an extremely low average IQ. The average IQ is, some studies shows it at 68, others at 69, and there is a general consensus it's around 70. What you must take into consideration is that the American military does not appoint or employ a person with an IQ lower than 85. There are reasons for these things, but as the superior logic and natural intelligence tells them, all of those studies means nothing. Reality is, I grew up in a South Africa that developed. I can remember when I was a child, there was, in my lifetime, there was a time that we had to go to Durban on dirt roads. That is the truth. One of the things that was always interesting to me is how much the white population enjoyed seeing development, seeing power stations being built, seeing huge dam projects being built, seeing mountain passes being built, seeing roads, highways being built. I grew up in a rural South Africa, so for me it was a major thing when our town got connected with a tar road. Those are things that I experienced in my life, and I was proud to see how the South African airways expanded, how the South African rail system expanded. I myself personally took a passenger train from Pretoria to Wakkerstroom in the 70s, and the train had to go via Ermelo and all of that, and it was, we called it a milk train, but it was there and it was developed. The youth of today, these militants, all they know is how to destroy and see the destruction of all that infrastructure. It was a massive thing for us when Koeberg was finished, and it was fantastic to see the medical breakthroughs done at Chris Hani and at Grooteskier and in Joburg, all of those things. I had friends that did their, they called it the house doctor's year. After they qualified at university, they had to go and work for a year in a hospital. And many of my friends worked in Tembisa and Kalafong, and we used to call it Fokolong, and things like that. We saw the medical breakthroughs that was reached at HF Verwoerd Hospital. My wife was a lecturer at the college at the nursing college. So much was invested in training and educating people. But all of that has been destroyed. The schools has been destroyed because these cadres placed unions in charge of education. I saw a TV interview with a teacher. He's the principal at a school in the Eastern Cape. And it was absolutely horrifying to see how that school has been dilapidated and neglected, and the ceilings are gone and windows are broken. It's a wreck. And he says the last time maintenance was done at his school was in 1992. Now these superior logic, natural intelligent cadres and fighters, they don't understand this, because their only experience and reference is rubbish, because they never experienced a system that worked, that actually served the people. Now, I spent a while deciding what to make the title of this Let's Talk, and obviously my first idea was to call it Fucked Beyond Repair. But then I thought that would be a little bit rough. But you black people listening to me, you must understand that your future is speeding towards the fucking drain. That is the reality. You have no future. You don't have a future. You rejoice when you hear white people leave the country. I cannot understand how your brains work. I have to come to the conclusion that they don't work, or they cannot work, or they're incapable of working, because don't you fucking understand, when those white people leave the country, they take all their skills with them. And yes, you can be as excited and angry as you fucking want. The fact of the matter is, right across the globe, it's a reality that certain people have certain skills. And if you want your car repaired, you take it to a mechanic. You don't take it to a fucking baker. But you guys do that. You take your car to a baker. And then he fucks it up and then you're surprised. But that is the reality of where we are today. And then you've got this dream of the Chinese economy, without realizing that the South African apartheid regime, the economic model, was what China now has. It is as if China learned from the Boer. Yes, and that freaks you out, but fuck you too, man. I don't care. That's the facts. You cannot show me one single infrastructure project that has been done in 30 years successfully. Not one. Everything is started off with big dreams and a lot of talk. And then, when it comes to delivery time, you don't have the skills to deliver. You cannot. But you are too dumb to use the skills available. Look at what your life is and my life is. This is the Minister of Home Affairs, and he says, no mechanism of knowing how many undocumented migrants are in South Africa. Briefing the media on Sunday on the white paper on citizenship, immigration and refugee protection. He doesn't have a clue. That should worry you, because the reality is, these millions of immigrants, they have never contributed to South Africa. They have never paid tax in South Africa, but yet they get all the services. And in many instances, they even get SASSA. But you're too dumb to understand that you're fucking yourself. And that Malema, he cheers the immigrants on, and you think, some of you think it is a great thing. They're busy taking from you every day a little bit more. The pensioners that used to contribute to the tax base of South Africa, they get a measly fucking pension and they get a 10 rand increase and they should be happy. In the meantime, you piss millions onto the immigrants. So what can we do? Nothing. We can do nothing. You're the majority. We have to accept this shit. Then you look at this. 197 million rand Gauteng roads project, which ballooned by 30 million, lies abandoned. The eyesore of growing weeds amid pile of rubbish is all the Gauteng government has to show after 197 million rand has been spent. But it means nothing to you. Most of you cannot even write 197 million rand. Many of you cannot even read that number if you only see the number. But that doesn't worry you. You've got natural intelligence and superior logic. And if I talk about it, you call me a racist. Okay, fine, call me a racist for having higher standards than you. Higher standards. That is it. And for that, call me a racist. I'd rather be a racist than a dumb idiot. That's the difference, the big difference. Then you see something like this. Ramaphosa's 600,000 rand gravy plane, catering cost of flights on the presidential jet, allegedly manipulated. Excessively expensive food is ordered. And many of the leftovers, oversupplies vanish mysteriously. You see an article like that and you don't read it and you don't think about it. You don't think about it. No, you're more concerned about racism. But stupidity, that you don't worry about. Look at this. This is actually a dictator that lives like that. But it is not a dictatorship. Someone said we're ruled by oligarchs. We're not ruled by oligarchs. If you go and look at the real oligarchs of the world, they're highly intelligent, highly skilled people with highly successful businesses. This is a fucking crime syndicate. They contribute fuck all to your life. But yet you want to kill the boer. And then we get to this. Joburg needs 25 billion rand to fix water infrastructure. Johannesburg has been hit by escalating water shortages in 2023. Now, the first thing that you've got to ask yourself when you hear 25 billion to fix the infrastructure, you must understand that's infrastructure that was built by the apartheid regime. And these people did not maintain it. But that you don't care about. Today you can strike and riot and plunder because you've got a water problem. But you don't ask why the fuck do you have a water problem. It is because you allow stupid people, dumb people to manage the system. That is what the problem is. I'm so gutful for your racist cock, I want to puke about it. And yet, you are too dumb to understand it. You don't understand what's happening with you. You don't understand what's happening to you. Now look at this. China builds the world's first offshore fish farm. China has finished building the world's first deep-sea fish farm off the coast of Qingdao City. When I was a young guy, we had dreams of things like this. When you, the majority blacks, took over control of the country, We were on the verge of making a major breakthrough with Pebblebed nuclear power stations. We were leading the world. What did you do? You thought it was a clever plan to chase those scientists and engineers out of the country because they were white. And they fucked off with all their skills. And today, where is the Pebblebeds being developed and actually implemented? In America. The same happens in our weapon technology. You are sitting today highly excited about Iran's capability with missiles. You better go and take a look who the fuck is the brains behind many of that missile developments. I've got news for you. It was brains that actually belonged to South Africa, but they were chased out of the country by you because you prefer pit toilets and to walk through sewage in your streets every day. While I'm talking about that, look at Orania. Let it be what it is. Fact of the matter is, that little enclave is actually working and functioning. And what do you dumb militant blacks do? You don't go there and look how the fuck they do it. No, no, no. You sit on Twitter and tweet, Orania must fall. That is your mentality. Destructive destroyers. That is what you are. Because you have not built anything. You only destroy. And the nightmare is, you don't have the capability of building things. You don't have it. And then there's blacks that tell me this cuck about, yeah, South Africa was built on black slavery. Fuck that. Yes, it was white engineers, white scientists, white project managers that managed the project. And thousands, millions of blacks were employed, not slaved, employed to build these things. Because the black people have the ability, it's in their nature. They can work hard. They can take the punishment of hard work. Something that they should be proud of. But you militant fuckers sitting out at a university, pissing through 8 years of bursaries and not get a degree and stirring shit. You don't understand that. Because what have you achieved in your life? Fuck all. And then, look at this. Egypt's mega fish farms produce over 2.2 million tons of fish. That is what Egypt is doing to ensure food security. What are you guys doing? You black guys in South Africa, what are you doing? You are focused on destroying South Africa's food security because you are racist. You think you can just give a guy a piece of land and he can be a farmer. I've got news for you. To be a farmer, you actually need skills. You actually have farming in your genes or not. And now, this morning, a friend of mine sent me images of his niece, a black lady, that wanted to start with sheep. And she took her savings and she bought 13 sheep. And what do you know? And she was so proud. I saw the pictures that he sent me. And what do you know? Within weeks, blacks stole all her sheep. That is what you do to your own people. That is what you do to yourself. Plunder and steal. The Egypt fish farms was fantastic. But the truth is, you blacks in South Africa do not have the skills or the ability or the discipline to do something like that. You will never achieve it. Never. And then we look at Vietnam. A more balanced appraisal of Vietnam's pangasius sector. Anyone wanting to understand the fluctuation fortunes of Vietnam's pangasius aquaculture industry would be wise to read this article. The reality is, those people, they have these visions, and then they apply their minds and their skills and their discipline to actually achieve the goal. The average black militant operates like you saw in this intro video. The most disturbing for me about that EFF councillors was the way they were throwing the furniture. Why do they do that? Because they don't have respect. They don't have self-respect. And you think those type of people can offer you a future. Your future is fucked. Your future is going to be poverty. Your future is going to be extreme suffering. And the XXX gang is planning to starve you. You are going to die of hunger. But you're too dumb to understand that. You will only understand that when it's day 7, when you've last eaten. Then you might understand that. Then you may remember this old racist boer telling you this shit. I said to a black guy last night, you blacks has got a major problem. First of all, you don't have a sense of humor. Second of all, you get triggered and upset and disturbed by a word. And you want to compete in the world? You must just understand one thing. The Arabs, the Muslims, you say me as a Boer is a racist. You must really go and look at what racists look like. You will be stunned if you see the facts. I spent time in Tanzania, and the guy in the hotel room next to me was a Chinese guy. So we started eating dinner together and things like that. And I listened to him talk. And one of the things that he said to me one night is that the blacks stuns him. He cannot understand why they are destroying their infrastructure, why they are destroying colonial buildings. Why are they not maintaining those things and expand? No, they destroy. That is what the Chinese guy said to me. I've seen videos and I've listened to discussions of what the Chinese mine bosses do to the black laborers. Here in South Africa, they bring their own labor in. Why? They say the local labor is unskilled, uneducated, and undisciplined. A project that should take 3 or 4 or 5 months, you cannot do with black South African labor for under 2 years. That's the realities. But you don't want to see that. You don't want to hear that. You don't go and sit down quietly and think about the shit that is all around you and ask yourself, what is your contribution to that shit? Are you taking shit away or are you adding shit? That is the question you should ask yourself this morning. But now I've had enough. The country is fucked. If you think you can repair it, you are dreaming. It is beyond repair. It is beyond repair. I am now 10 hours without power. Ask yourself, how can a country function under conditions like that? Please give me a like and a subscribe and share the thing. And if you are now fucking angry, I don't care. What you must do is sit down and think. Are you part of the problem or are you part of the solution?